Welcome to the Kickstart Motorcycle Podcast with your hosts Colin and Simon.
Welcome to episode 4 of the Kickstart Motorcycle Podcast. I'm Mozart.
And I'm Colin. It's nice to be back. We've had a few weeks off, haven't we?
We have. It's been a little bit late to get back to you, but we've got a good reason for it. Well, I have anyway. This week, we're going to be talking about the Adventure Bike Festival, which I was at the weekend.
Which we both had tickets for, but you're the only one that got to go.
Yeah, life didn't really work out for you this week, did it?
No, it didn't. It didn't. But I'm glad you got to go. I'm glad someone got to enjoy it. And did you manage to give my ticket to someone?
Yeah. It was a very worthy individual who took great advantage of a free ticket, came along, had a great time.
Cool. Well, should we dig into it a little bit then? So hang on. The ABR or Adventure Bike Rider Festival, I think is what it is, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah. So ABR Festival 2023, which was just last weekend, which is in June. That was, where was it? Somewhere in the Cotswolds?
So it's Ragley Hall, which is near Evesham.
Okay. Still don't know where that is.
No, it doesn't matter. Well, so it's a big country house in grounds and manor. And they let, I think it was 12,500 motorcyclists come on.
12,500. Okay.
For a weekend.
That's a decent amount of people. So that's a fairly substantial size festival. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the ABR festival is like a camping festival. It's outdoors, all that kind of thing, isn't it? It's got it's set up like a music festival in a way, but with motorbikes. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that how it looked?
So there's camping fields. There's different levels of camping. So you can there's tent camping. There's glamorous camping. There's motorhome camping, so you're all sort of different fields for different things. But there is, there's tents everywhere. There's a sort of central arena, if you like, or a field where all the exhibitors and things like that happen, and then that is surrounded on all sides by various camping fields. And it has I'll be honest, it has a bit of a Mad Max feel to it. There's just bikes everywhere, tearing around in every direction.
So I was going to say ask about that. So with all the tents, so you can obviously you can camp next to your bike. You don't have to leave your bike in a car park. Yeah. You bring your bike into the event. So there are 12,000 bikes. Maybe not 12,000 bikes, but there's 8,000 bikes.
No, I mean I think there's probably 12,000 bikes. There's a lot of motorbikes that just going around everywhere.
Can you just ride them anywhere? Or are there areas that no bike riding?
I don't think you can take them into the arena.
Okay.
But so I don't think you can get them into where the exhibitors and those sort of things are. But everywhere else it was just fair game. And people you're riding through the campsite to get to your camp. There was a 5 mile an hour speed limit, which was not being obeyed or enforced in any way. And I don't mean that bad. Everyone was fine. It was not a problem. Everyone was being reasonably sensible. Traffic was
Did you see anybody fall over? Did you see anybody kind of have a slow maneuver topple?
No, not in the not within the. I mean, obviously on the trails and things, there was a few, including myself.
Did you?
Oh yeah, I'll tell you about that in a minute. But no, generally speaking, within the place, I say all traffic was flowing. It was both directions. It was sort of like organised chaos. I quite like.
Was it like a one-way system, or was everybody just going wherever they want?
Yeah, but no. So people be going one way on the road, and then on the verges, and people just go in the other direction.
Okay. So
it was. This is not a criticism. Everyone was handling it very, very well. It was good.
Cool. So it sounds like you viewed the whole thing positively.
Generally speaking, yeah, I think.
Wow. I mean, coming from you, who hates everything, pretty much, that's a bit of an endorsement.
I don't like people or organised fun, and I enjoyed myself.
I'm actually surprised.
Mm.
I mean, I think you'd find it hard to not enjoy yourself when you're surrounded by motorbikes, but when it is organized fun with people who you'll probably find quite irritating, I think 9 out of 10 people you'd be like, fuck off. But the other 10% you'd be like, yeah, you're all right.
That's still, the other 10%
I guess
is
that surprises me.
1,000 people.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So you went just for the Saturday, right? That's when we were just going to go. Did you change dates? Did you just go for the Saturday?
No, just went for the Saturday. I don't know if I would. Well, I might go for longer, but if I was going, I'd go for one day, and I'd probably camp for one day. If I was going for more than one day, I think I would use it as a bit of a base and go out from there, because apparently there's loads and loads of trails and that around outside Ragley Hall. So within a few miles, there's lots and lots of places you can go. So maybe use that as a bit of a base and go out off-site more and go out riding around there a little. I don't know if there would be enough to keep me entertained. And again, this is my high standards of entertainment. I don't know if there'd be enough to keep me entertained for the whole weekend. Did
you watch any music, which is the evening entertainment? Did you stay for any of that?
No, it was on. They started on quite. We sat and watched an AC/DC tribute band. I can't think what they were called. It was ABCD or something like that. Right. Really good. I'm not going to ever see AC/DC. We've watched them for half an hour, killing some time. It was good. I think one of my main conclusions from it was I felt if you were in the market to buy a bike in this segment, then you would be a fool not to go. If you were about to buy a new bike, it was absolutely the place to go.
But this brings me on to the photos that you sent me. You don't take many photos, but you did send some. Let me bring them up because, you did send a few photos of the exhibitors. And one of the first ones I saw was this one of the CCM stand. And CCM is a British brand that is quite expensive, but makes beautiful bikes in small numbers.
High end.
And I was quite surprised to see this here, and I've never seen one in the flesh. What did you think of them? And did you get a chance to ride one?
This is the thing. There was loads of everyone. If you can think of them, they were there. Apart from maybe Harley, but all these.
I'm surprised Harley wasn't there with the Pan America. You'd think the Pan America would be there.
I can't remember. It did come up in one of the talks. There was a reason for it. I can't remember what it was.
Okay.
But yeah, even these high end bikes like these, you could ride them. So every hour they would have a team go out basically, and this was almost all the manufacturers there would have. You'll see some of the other photos. The BMW had about 15, 18 GSs, and they'd have one guy at the front, one guy at the back, and then 16 people in between, and they would go out every hour on the hour. So you get to go out and basically you get if you want in the bike looking for a new bike, you get there early on day one and you go to all the manufacturers and you could book 10 12 test rides if you get there
that
early,
looks amazing.
Get on it.
That looks amazing.
On this escorted ride.
Wow. And so, these are the picture you sent me is of these GSs. Are they all like 1250 GSs, like top of the line, just waiting for you to sign up to ride?
So no, because not everyone wants the 1250. So they've got like 8 1250s in various trim levels or whatever.
And then the 850s.
A few 800s, the 850s, and so if you and like I say, but it wasn't just them. There were also, obviously this is the Adventure Bike Festival, so they had loads of them, but they also had all their other bikes there too.
Oh man!
So they had one of each of their bikes. Even people like Indian were there. Ural were there. You could take out Urals. Yeah.
Dude, okay, I'm getting jealous now. I am getting jealous now about I mean, I don't know why Ural tipped it for me, but
but even if you don't get to ride them, you could sit on them all. You could touch them, you can stroke them, you can compare them, you can look at the sizes, and it was.
How many bikes did you stroke, Mozart?
Oh, all of them. All of them. I mean, it is it's a bit like a kid in Chocolate Wonderland,
Yeah.
If you're not out to buy, you just kind of walk around a bit wide-eyed at everything that's available to look at and touch, and have knowledgeable people talk to you about it. That was quite.
But it's heaven because well, as bikers, you often you go for a ride, and one of the places that you often ride to when you just got nothing else to do is you'll ride to a bike dealership to go look at some other bikes. It's something that every biker, I swear, does.
Kick some.
And exactly, and most of the time it's quite disappointing because there's not enough bikes to look at, and there's not enough variation. And this sounds like heaven, where you can actually go somewhere and every brand is there, and you can touch them all, and no one's looking at you like, oh, get the fuck away from my bike, don't scratch it or don't knock it over. Like, it's part of the parcel here by the sounds of it.
You can't buy them there, so they're not looking to sell them to you there.
That's it. It's all just about brand.
There's no pressure. It's just about touch, play,
create relationships.
Yeah. Make you want desire the thing. And you know what? I came away while I desire. I had a buttload of bikes. You know? All
right, so let's do this. Okay, so what's your favorite bike out of the entire thing? The bike. If money was no object, you've looked around this festival, all these bikes. What's the bike you would want?
I can't do favorites. I can give you a.
Give me three. Give me three then. Give me three.
Three. Okay, three. Transalp.
Okay, that was there. Yeah.
I don't know. I'll give you a third by the end of the.
So you're going for the middleweight bikes. I like that because that's your size. That suits you as a rider, and your your height and all that. That's perfect.
Get much benefit from going bigger, to be honest.
No, unless you are a massive dude.
Capability.
Yeah. Unless you want to.
4 and built like the Rock, right?
Then why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So you got to sit or ride. Did you get to ride any of those two bikes?
No. So I think if you want to do this, I mean, I didn't even ask because we didn't get there till I think 11 o'clock on Saturday.
Right. Okay.
So in reality, everyone, they're going to have been booked up. If they do them by the day, so it might be that Friday you can't book for Saturday, you've got to come in on Saturday morning. But even then, everyone on Saturday morning will have booked up by then. So what I'm saying is, if you want to do this, and I might be wrong, because obviously there's 15 manufacturers at least doing. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity, right? I might be wrong. I didn't ask, so this isn't.
We'd like to be better prepared next year than to find out how to do that. Because if I can make it next year, I'd like to book some tests in.
Yeah, and I think if you're going to do that, then do take the 2 days. Because you're gonna use time in your days, and you need to have the maximum availability to get all those rides in. So I think get there early, do at least 2 days. But I'll say this is just the spectacle of seeing so many bikes around. The availability of being able to ride all those bikes was, I didn't, but it was cool, and I got to see all these people going out in these. I mean, it's a little bit schooly, I suppose, in that there's 12 of you going out, and there's a guy at the front. You're all in a high vis, and the guy at the front is the instructor, and the guy at the back is the instructor. But
it's like doing
a reasonable, but you're getting a reasonable ride. You don't, but
you don't get to do highway speeds, I guess, do you? There's no highway speeds available.
I don't know. Depends. I don't know what routes they take. They've probably all got different routes. But you're going out onto A roads.
Oh, you are going out of the site.
Yeah, you go off the site. Yeah. They take you out off the site.
Oh man, dude, the roads around this place must have been crazy. Like the people that live around here must have driven mental.
Hated it for that weekend. Yeah. They must hate it because I mean, obviously it's noisy as well. There's just bikes ragging around the place, all over the place, and that's not including all the off-road. So there is like a sanctioned 30k off-road trail.
Okay, let's get back to that in a minute. I want to look through these slides, and I need to ask you about your accident because you've hinted at it.
I'm not. That's I'm getting there with the off-road trail.
So we've got a pretty Moto Guzzi on this one. I mean, I'm a kind of fan of Moto Guzzi as the styling. I don't know if I'd buy one, but styling-wise, I love a Moto Guzzi. And then we've got Royal Enfield, big fan of. What did you think of the Himalayan when you got close to it?
It's pretty cool. They've got it's like a Himalayan base, and then you've got loads and loads of different sort of varieties of Himalayan.
You've got the Scram, is it? The Scram?
Yeah. So a Scram, I quite like it. It would never, well, I don't say never say never. It probably wouldn't be high on my list of desires,
You know what? It is on mine.
Right. And I had the space in the garage.
Yeah. The price is always right on the Enfields because, I mean, a brand new one's only $4,000 or whatever. So you like the look of it when you were up close to it? It's still.
Yeah, I thought they were. That was one of the ones that I spent a few minutes poking around them all.
Yeah.
I think as Fortnite said before, it comes in a lot of colours. There's a load of different colours for it.
Right.
So yeah, you can personalise them quite nicely.
I need to test drive one of these
to make that look fairly uniquely, I think.
I got a dealer near me, and there's not many dealers of anything near me, but there's one that's 45 minutes away, which is close for me. Yeah, I need to try one. What else have we got? So we got Triumph. It looks like, I mean, there's a Rocket 3 there, and
That's
Speed Triples.
3, yeah.
They don't really have anything off road other than the Scrambler. I don't see a Scrambler there.
I need to point out, I'm a terrible photographer. They did have it all there. It's just to the right. Yeah. I took like 6 photos. I'm not into social media. I don't do any of that. So I took 6 photos the whole day. And
even though we do a podcast with a video aspect, and I did say to him before he left, I was like, take some photos, Mozart. He still took 6.
Okay. Well, half the problem was I had my from my last European trip, my phone charger on my motorcycle wasn't working, so I got there and I had 11% on my phone.
There's always excuses. All right, so Triumph. There's the GS BMWs with loads of them. I had a question. So, did you have to wear a helmet when you were riding around site at all times?
I didn't see anyone not. I don't think for 1 second you would have got away with that.
So it seems like that was something they would have asked you to do.
I don't think they would have got away with that. Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
No, I mean, again, that's my guess, but I think you'd have been pulled up fairly sharpish. If not,
and what the hell is this?
By other people.
What is
that's what I was trying.
Moto Marini?
I didn't know them, and then I was like, I do know them. I've heard of them, but I quite like them. I don't really know anything about them. I bet it's an old Italian brand that China's bought. Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's bought by the Chinese Zhangzheng Vehicle Group in 2018. They look pretty cool.
So they're probably old Japanese motors, aren't they?
Oh, they probably are. Or they're copying, or it's like they're built in a factory that like KTM are, and they're using the same like tooling, because that's quite common. Well, it's starting to become a thing. I quite look at one, like the adventure one in the background there. That's quite cool.
Yeah. So I took a photo of them because there was just something different. The same as the CCMs, you don't see them.
Yeah, I'm looking at the website now. They've got something called the Escape, which is the adventure one in the background. And that is...
Does it say how much one of them is?
19-inch front wheel, 850cc, and find a dealer. No, it hasn't got a price. But yeah, I mean, they're quite nice looking bikes. There's a lot of these Chinese bikes coming out now. And I think from what I hear within the motorcycle kind of journalists is that some of them are actually not so bad.
They're getting better. They are getting better, yeah. And this was random. I just took a photo of this because festivals have changed a lot, I think, since I was been going to festivals when I was young. They had a massage tent. Just go and have a lie down, and some big muscular fella would rub himself on you. And I thought you'd like that, so I took a photo.
Oh, thanks, man. I mean, I wish I could have been there and had someone take a photo of me getting a massage. Post it on YouTube. Right, okay.
But also,
so tell me about the off-road route, because the off-road route is one of the selling points of the whole ABR festival, right?
Yeah.
So they have a 30-kilometer designated off-road route that you have to buy a ticket for to ride, so it limits the amount of riders. But you can ride it multiple times?
Yeah, you could just go around and around.
Yeah. Right, go on then. Tell me then. So I told set it up. What is it?
30k off-road route. There is also an 8k TRF route, which is a bit more technical, apparently. Now,
so Trail Riders Fellowship, which is the group I'm member of. Yeah.
So there was also, so just point out there is more available, and also the TRF were doing ride outs from there. That's the one. they were doing ride outs from there to the local trails outside of the event. So again, if you remember, and you're going for the weekend, there's a lot to do. So I had the idea in my head that this is going to be, it's going to be fairly basic. You know, it's got to be good enough that almost everyone can do it. Now, apparently, there has been a little bit of clash. So this year, apparently, you could only go on it if you had factory-fitted rear foot pegs, because there's been some clashes over the last few years between the real hardcore off-roaders and the adventure bike lot. And I think that maybe this is why they've got the TRF. They might have separated them a little bit. However, irrelevant. I had under my impression it was going to be really easy because, you know, you're trying to sell this to all us fat old men who've got a bit much money and can't really ride off-road, you know. So it was going to be easy. I was under the impression I could borrow a cruiser and put a reasonable set of tyres on it, and I'll get round there, not a problem. 99%, I think I was right. It's hard, you know, a bit of tracks, bit of hard pack. There was a little bit that got a bit rocky, but no problem at all. Then there is one river crossing, right? I say river, it's tiny, it's a stream, okay? And even that wasn't too bad. The banks had been eroded a bit because obviously there's thousands of people going over it. The 100 meters on the far side of the river was the muddiest mud pit because it's had 10,000 bikes dragging the river water over it for the last 24 hours. So 100 meters past, it was a bog. So my tyres, what have I got on, TKC 70s or 80s, something like that, I can't remember what it's called. But they're like a 50-50 tyre. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. They literally just turned to slick in about a metre.
Right.
And obviously went over. Couldn't really stand up. It was
slipping and sliding.
Like a clown. I was doing this, right? And, you know, all over the place, like a proper clown. So in that 100 meters, I think I went over another 3 times. And me and everyone else, anyone who didn't have decent tires on them was just going, you know, it was a bit of a bloodbath or a mudbath. And again, after that 100 meters, fine again. You know, but that made it a bit of a problem. I was like, knowing what I know now, I would definitely go back again, and I would do it with better tires. But there was no point in going round again then because I couldn't. I knew that 100 meters ain't getting any better. That is only going to be, you know, by tomorrow morning that's going to be 150 meters.
Yeah.
You know, so you need, if you're going to do it. So I say 99% of it was reasonable, was easy, to be honest.
So my DRZ with my massive knobblies would have probably made it through the mud and been all right. But because you've got TK70s, okay.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Fair enough. You know, it turned into it's just like having a slick tire. You know, it had no grip whatsoever. Just spinning and then just over you go. And then trying to pick the thing up, but you've got no friction between the sole of your foot and the floor. So yeah, it was all good fun. Had a great time. Really, really enjoyed it. Would use better tires next time.
Better tires next time. But the track was worth it. Yeah. So it's 15 quid to do that. And how many times did you do it?
Yeah. Well, I only did it once because I didn't really see.
You realised that your bike wasn't
if there was a way of if there was a way of looping around that bit, then I would have done it again and again. But there wasn't. But if I'd had these tires, I think I'd have spent quite a lot of time on that because I quite enjoyed it.
Okay, man. Okay, right. So there was some other things. So they had talks. Did you go see any talks?
Saw only one really. We saw Ryan F9 from Fortnite.
You did. Okay.
He was being interviewed by someone else who I recognise but can't think who it is. A British guy, long hair. But it was like an interview, and it was quite good. But you know, both reasonably intelligent, funny people. Being witty and charming, you know. What else did we see?
He has a Clarkson-esque type vibe to him, and his allegories and metaphors, and it's all Clarkson-esque to me. And he's very, very smart with it. So yeah, I'm quite jealous you got to see him. I guess you didn't shake his hand or anything like that, did you? Get to speak to him? No,
I'm not really up for the meet and I mean,
touching.
We sort of walked past. We walked past the end of Itchy Boots giving her talk, but that was absolutely rammed. And then afterwards, there was a line. I mean, the line around the place to talk to her was huge. And I was going, I'm not queuing up just to go, hi, how are you? You know, yeah.
Do you watch her videos?
I do occasionally. I'm not religious on it, but yeah, I watch bits and pieces.
Yeah.
I'm quite impressed by what she does and how she does it well.
I mean, what she does is mind blowing. We should probably talk about what she does as an inspiration for people at some other day, because she is quite inspiring the way she does it, and her just fuck it attitude and just keeps going. Yeah, which is mind blowing and inspiring. Okay, so they had talks, they had music, which was a lot of cover bands, but they also had the Beat headlining. And the Beat, from what I understand, talking to Ben, our mate, he's seen them. He says they're fucking boring live. And they've got the one song. Was it "The Mirror in the Bathroom"? Don't you see the door is locked? That's all. You and me.
That's all opinion, though, isn't it? And
it's all opinion. It's all opinion. I trust his opinion on live music.
I don't. He's quite narrow-minded. Right.
But they had the music. They had talks. I guess they had food. Do you have any food?
There was the food. There was loads of food, and there was good food. I'll say the festival seemed to have come a long way. Like the food was, there was lots of options, lots of good food. I was impressed.
Okay,
clean toilets.
Right. I had an email from ABR Festival just yesterday saying thank you for everybody that came. And for the people that came this year, if you want to go next year, they're offering a full weekend ticket for £59.
It's early bird ticket. It's worth it.
Do you think it's worth it?
£59.
Should we go next year?
What did we pay? Yeah.
More than that, I think, for one day.
Yeah, for one day. So I think £59 for the whole weekend. That's absolutely worth it. And then add on, what is it, the £15 for the trail ride. All
right. So your verdict is it's good. You'd go again. In fact, we should spend £59 each to get the early bird tickets so we can go next year.
I think we should. Yeah.
Because I'd like to ride some of those bikes.
Especially, we'll get our money's worth. We'll get there early, and you'll get to ride, things that we don't even know exist yet because it's next year.
Amazing. All right, I'm up for that. I'm up for that. It sounds good, man. It sounds. Yeah, hang on. I have to ask. Yeah. One of our friends, Hugh, went, and I know Hugh. His bike at the moment, is that like a Shadow? What's he got?
Almost. Just a Honda.
What is it? Is it? Or is it a Yamaha? It's a type of cruiser, isn't it?
Oh no, yes.
Is it like
something like a Dragstar or something?
Yeah, that's it. Dragstar, Yamaha Dragstar.
Like a Dragstar.
Now, did he turn up in his Yamaha Dragstar? Yeah.
Yes, he did. But there was all sorts of. He wasn't the only one. There was. No,
I bet.
Holding up the entire road behind him because he's really slow and having a look at him like a child. But there were loads of bikes, all sorts of things. So it didn't really matter what you rocked up on.
No, that's cool.
It was an adventure bike themed fest, but it was a bike fest.
It was a biker fest. I was driving through the area on the way back from a job I did last week. Well, you were with me actually, and I passed so many bikers, so adventure riders. I also saw this very, very cool Africa Twin, but like mid-90s Africa Twin, sat in the back of a trailer, fully kitted out, as if it had been like touring the world, but it wasn't being ridden; it was on the trailer. It looked amazing. So someone has brought that. As it looks like as a piece to kind of talk about, or it had some history regarding it. And I guess some of the talkers brought bikes and all that kind of thing.
So in the Yamaha tent, there was about 12 bikes lined up, and they were all different bikes that this guy, I can't remember what his name is, had done sort of different world challenges on. And a lot of them were sort of long distance records, but he was doing it on sport, like big sports touring bikes from the 90s. So it'd be like much more sporty than you would expect people. These days, it'd all be done on adventure bikes, wouldn't it? But he was doing it all on sports bikes. And yeah, so it's quite interesting seeing these old. And it looked like not one of them had been washed since the day it came back. Like he finished that adventure, and he put it in his garage, and he never washed it or rode it again. Like, it was quite, they're quite cool.
Yeah, I mean, because most of the time, the old adventurers, they just got on whatever they had, like a Moto Guzzi or some Triumph Bonneville, and they just ride around the world on that. You didn't need the right bike. It's more comfortable these days, I assume, and less breakdowns and stuff. But yeah. Well, that sounds awesome. All right, so we're buying tickets. I'm up for that. I'm jealous. I wish I'd got to go, but next year.
It was good. It was worth it. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it then. We're going to keep this one short and sweet because we've been going nearly to an hour the last few episodes, haven't we?
Yeah.
We're going to do 3 minutes, right, on a new bike and tell me what you think, because I think it's pretty cool. Right, I'm going to share my screen and you're going to see what this is. There's 2 new bikes by a brand that we both like. In fact, nope, that's not what I'm doing. Sorry, hang on. Share screen. Here we go. Right. Now I'm going to ask you a question.
Really hoping.
Oh.
I'm really.
Triumph are releasing a 400cc engine, a single cylinder. Now they're going to do the Scrambler 400, right? And they're also going to do the Speed 400. What do you think? Because I think it's pretty cool.
See, I'll be honest, I'm not that bothered about the Speed, but the Scrambler. Now, here's the deal, right? There's a big price coming soon bit there, isn't there? I quite like the idea of that Scrambler 400, but it depends what that money is, because I'll be really unhappy to drop it.
Right. I reckon this is going to be in the £4,000 to £5,000 price point. It's being made by Bajaj in India, right, which is a massive motorcycle manufacturer company in India. It's going to fetch a premium price mainly because it's a Triumph, right? But it's still going to be competing with the Himalayan, right? This is like the target market it's going for. It's going for the people who want to buy a Royal Enfield, but they want the real heritage of a Triumph. It's a 400cc. It's got like 40 brake horsepower. It's got like 40 Newton meters of torque. The Scrambler version's got a 19-inch front wheel with a 17 rear. It's got like a fitted bash plate. It's got handguards, and this is all, that looks pretty cool. You put some badass tires on that. That's a fun looking bike.
They need to get that exhaust up high like it is on the other one, though.
Right, yeah. I mean, there's going to be mods.
Really nice on that Scrambler.
Oh, that looks good in red.
I was just looking. So a Speed Triple, 750 is 10,995, just as a price point. So that's 750 at 10,995. I think that's going to touch. I think this is going to be closer to 6.5.
I think if it's around 6, if it's any more than 6, it's a no. It's a complete no for me for a 400cc motorbike.
Yeah.
Because I mean, their 6 Tiger Sport is 8,500.
Yeah, 8,900. Yeah.
I'm intrigued. See, it's a single cylinder 400cc engine. This is a new engine, like the Triumph brought. They haven't had a new engine for a long time. I don't know when the last one is. I'm not that much really cued into it, but I know this is new. This is totally different. This is a different approach because they've been teasing about an off-road section of motorbikes. This isn't it, I don't think. And I think there's still potential, but now they have a single cylinder. That's bleeding perfectly to create an off-road bike. They could bring out like a little enduro bike or a real trail bike, because that's gonna be a decent engine. I'm excited to see that.
Well, there you go. If you buy your ticket now, you'll be able to ride that next year.
Little bit of housekeeping, I guess. I've our email wasn't quite working. So if anybody has emailed us, I haven't read it because I haven't got it. But we now got an email that works, which is hello@kmpod.co.uk. So if you do want to email us there. I'll get Mozart to email you back because he'll be the grumpy one that can expand on your yeah, exactly. And thanks to the 10 listeners. We've had 10 listeners this week. That's not bad, actually.
Hi, Mum.
Your mum doesn't know what a podcast is, I'm sure.
No, she doesn't.
No. Oh, I am sharing that screen. I didn't mean to share that screen. Anyway, nor the WhatsApp. Right.
Professional.
I might cut that bit out. Well, yeah, I guess that's us then. Episode 4 over and done with. It's nice to hear about the ABR festival. Yeah. Anything else to say, man?
No, like I say, I recommend it. I think, generally speaking, I think you'll have a good time. And if you are looking to buy a new bike in the adventure market, particularly, but generally, I think you'd do well to go. But if you're looking to buy a new adventure bike, you cannot go wrong going there, and you'll have a great time doing it.
Awesome. Right. Well, we'll be back with episode 5 maybe next week or the week after. Hopefully, no later than 2 weeks.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? All right, man. Good to see you, dude.
See you later. Bye, everybody.
See you later. Ta-ra.